I don't see you or Adam, or yeah, you or Adam, so don't gesture to me. Or if you do, I won't know.
See, but that was going to get a lot worse real quick.
Okay.
And I'm going.
Let's see what happens here. Looks like we're about to go. Are we on the internet? Does anybody know? Are we on the internet? Chat room, can you hear us?
Not showing up on my Twitch yet.
It'll take a second. All right, we're live. They'll hear you. How y'all doing? Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. We pirated Alex's channel, and maybe later everybody here will be playing real pirates. That'll be fun. Does anybody know? All right. So, couple announcements as we get started tonight. Alex, our fearless leader, will be streaming Baldur's Gate 2 at 9 a.m. tomorrow for 12 straight hours. He swears he will start at 9 a.m., and if he doesn't start at 9 a.m., he will go another 14 hours after that. That's all a lie. He told me he wasn't sure he'd start at 9. He's going to do the best he can. But he will be playing 12 straight hours of Baldur's Gate 2, 9 a.m. I believe that's the Pools of Radiance. I think he's going old school with that one. Also, this is a real big week for 20 Sides to Every Story, as it's the end of the Planescape Dead Gods campaign, which is the first campaign launched on 20 Sides to Every Story. I believe this is the end of a full year campaign. Again, first one, and I caught yesterday's episode. It was outstanding. I'm looking forward to seeing the conclusion of this. It's high-level campaigning. You don't get to see that everywhere. 19th, 20th level people beating the crap out of gods. That's fun stuff. You can still donate to the Center for Suicide Awareness if you'd like, although our Tiltify is no longer open. So if you are interested in still supporting, getting more information out there and more resources to people who need it on suicidality, suicide awareness, and support the good work of the Center for Suicide Awareness, please visit their website and throw them a couple shekels if you got it. Alternatively, if you're really interested in Jasper's Game Day, you can also go to them and support them for local suicide awareness and harms reduction interventions and activities from that group. Two more announcements, and then we're going to get started with Ghosts of Saltmarsh. We have one scheduled subscriber game left in June, which will be June 24th. That's this Monday. A subscription will get you a whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge. Also, while you're here, if you haven't done so, there's a little heart button at the top. You can push that. It's right up on the top of your screen, and you can subscribe and catch all the sweet 20 Sides to Every Story goodness that's on this channel. And if you are so inclined, you can also get a subscription. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can click on it, and if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can use that to get a Twitch Prime account, and that will go and support this stream. Or if you want to be super cool, you can do the $4.99 a month subscription and support this awesome channel that does great things like playing D&D for fun and also for occasionally raising money for great causes like the Suicide Awareness Center. That, I think, is my last announcement. Anybody here have anything they want to say before we get this party started? Okay, cool. I'm going to stop looking at myself in the Twitch screen right now just because it's my first time broadcasting and I wanted to make sure it works. So I'm going to stop staring at myself and move back here over the Discord. And we are going to start our campaign in the wonderful world of Greyhawk. For those of you who don't know, this was Gary Gygax's original campaign setting, and in honor of that, I'm wearing a GaryCon t-shirt. This was based on modules that were written in the 80s, and they are as you may have already guessed from the sweet cover and all the art that comes out. They are maritime adventures set in the coastal town of Saltmarsh. To set this up, to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on in Saltmarsh. Saltmarsh is a backwater town in the south of a kingdom that has not paid any attention to it in decades. And as such, pirates have been raiding the town and creating unrest in the town of Saltmarsh for years. And Saltmarsh has sort of become, although part of the kingdom, kind of an independent city-state in a lot of ways. But within the last 10 years, the kingdom has been turning its attention southward and is paying attention to Saltmarsh again, and has actively been sending emissaries from the kingdom down there to reestablish more formal relations with the city, which has led to a couple of factions popping up. The traditionalists are the people who've lived there their whole lives and are used to being kind of independent and doing what they do. It's clearly a maritime civilization, so fishing and shipping and all of the industries that support those things, like shipwrighting and carpentry and sail making, seafood and export-import of that are all very important, and the people who control those industries tend to be the council leaders. The other faction are the loyalists, who are from the kingdom and are trying to establish a more direct connection to the kingdom. So the town's sheriff is the first of the people who is sent down here to help create more order here. But the other, he's not called the sheriff. I totally forgot what his title is. He's it is pretty much sheriff. I'm calling him sheriff. That's canon now. Eleander he is now Sheriff Eleander Fireborn. He's a loyalist to the king, and the other big movement that's coming from the kingdom is a dwarven enterprise that is setting up a copper mine just outside of the city, where they believe they're going to find more minerals. In fact, they believe they will find gems and diamonds in this mine, and so they have been given an order or a deed by the king to mine this. And so there's a new population of dwarves who are not really moving into Saltmarsh so much, but are now a big presence in industry in the town. And so that is sort of the political environment that our four heroes walk into. And what I would like to do for funsies is establish that the four of you are already in town. And I'm going to give you a choice of, I can read you some places you might be as we start our adventure, or you can be daring and true up D&D balling by rolling a d6, and I'll tell you where you're starting. And you'll have to come up true improv yes and style with why you'd be there. All right.
I'll roll.
Adam's going d6. Robin's going d6. Tony,
Roll it.
Chris is rolling it.
First, I'll give it a shot.
Okay. What'd you get? Tony, go ahead. Tell me what you got.
I got a 3.
All right, Tony, you are starting off in the Mariners Guild Hall. I will start off. I will give you more on that in a second. Adam, where did you roll? I did not hear it. 6.
6.
All right. Your choice. Do you want to be in the barracks part or the jail part of the sheriff's building?
Jail.
All right. I kind of figured that's the way you were going to go. All right, Robin, what'd you roll?
A 4.
A 4. You are in the Empty Net, a seedy dive bar right over the inlet river. All right.
Ooh.
All right.
Chris,
I also rolled a 3.
you I'm going to give you a choice of do you want to start off in the same place as Newman or do you want to roll a different one?
Different for fun. Why not?
Okay. I didn't hear that. Dose. You are actually I can't wait. You're at the farmers market.
That's fun.
have you been
Typical Sunday.
have you been volunteering? All right. So,
Helped set up this morning.
let me give you a little bit of description. The weekly farmers market is where all of the goods from not just the wharfs and the docks come in. So it's not just seafood rolling in, but it's the produce from the supporting farms outside, and it's also a bunch of artisans. So just about most of the lower cost items that you can find in the player's handbook inventory, you're going to be able to find at the weekly market. So, Chris, if that gives you some food for thought about why Baracus would be in the weekly market area, just know you can find just about anything on that inventory page, that market page, in the player's handbook. And so if that helps you come up with your story for why you're there. Newbin, you are in the Mariners Guild Halls. This is where people go to find seafaring jobs or to stay the night if they can't find a home. If they're a sailor, they also might be inquiring as to when a ship may come in or go out. They may be looking for supporting work on dry land, or they may have actually been a courier. But it's basically the chief place of business for the sea routes coming in and out of the town. So if that gives you some ideas you want to cook on for why you'd be there when you walked into town. All right, Cora, you in jail. Uh, it's just jail. They are there are 6 cells. Um, you notice that 4 of them are kind of drunk tanky cells. You're in one of those. 2 of them are a little bit more fortified and a little bit more serious. You're not in one of those. Go ahead and cook on what you want to do with that. And then Merriweather, you are in a seedy dive bar. Half of this bar is on supporting poles that go into. I did send you guys the map so you can see it. We don't have that ability quite yet on this stream yet for me to show people the map of Saltmarsh, but if you look at the map that I sent you all, it is number 8, but there's a coastal area with an island offset and then a giant inlet that turns into the Kingfisher River. The big inlet is where a lot of the wharfs are, and so the empty net is a ramshackly type bar that is halfway out over a cliff and into the water. I sort of think of Muppets Treasure Island, uh, and sort of the ramshackly house that it starts off in there as kind of a description. You or the scene in Tangled where she meets all of the ruffians and starts singing inexplicably. So that is where you are at. So what I'd like to do now is whoever would like to go first, I'd like you to introduce your character, describe what they look like, and then tell us why you're in Saltmarsh and in the location that you're in. And if you need a little bit of time, we can take a little bit of time. I can vamp for a while. Anybody like to go?
One,
Go ahead.
Cora. I am a half-elf female monk. I am dressed in monkly attire. I have one silver eye, which is reminiscent of my elven family, and then I have one green eye, which is a little peculiar for elven. I am currently in jail because my assumption of coming into town was that food was for everyone. So then, as soon as I came into town, I decided to go to the market and to consume food. and I was accused of stealing. But again, I don't understand why you would sell something that everybody else needs.
Okay. So you have met Sheriff Ariander, who accosted you in the market with your hand on an apple, or whatever food you want to. What kind of food you want to be accused of stealing?
Goes.
Mangoes? Sure, go big or go home. So you were stealing a mango, but not thinking you were stealing, and you walked away, and the market vendor, what, and Ariana just grabbed you and said, "You're gonna have to come with me, miss. And would you like to describe yourself to?" You did the silver eye. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. I didn't miss it. I just kind of glossed it. Okay, so you are sitting in jail, and Ariander has said that he will talk to you in the near future, and you don't know what that means. Okay, who's next?
Well, I can go next.
Okay.
All right. Well, Meriwether is a furbolg. She has like light tan fur and long golden brown hair that she wears in braids and amber colored eyes. And she's sitting closest to the window, looking over the cliff into the water, drinking really cheap alcohol, eating really cheap food, and sketching out a map of the inlet the best she can. She likes to go here and kind of contemplate a little bit and kind of practice her sketching skills because she aspires to do some mapping of the area, and she doesn't have a lot of money, so this is the best place to go for some cheap food.
All right. So as you're sitting in there, not a lot of furbolgs in Saltmarsh. And so you're given quite a bit of a wide berth. Um, People aren't sure how strong you are. You're taller than everybody in there. Uh, Probably furrier than everybody in there. And so uh, people are kind of leaving you to your own, but you're getting a lot of side eye. And maybe noting that you're in a place that's not always so peaceful. Um, Everybody in here seems to be wearing some kind of version of black, faded, dirty, salty, torn, but this is a, you know, this is the eye patches and lots of peg legs. Um, so, okay. And who's Nubin or Baracus? All right, go ahead, Nubin. Oh, go ahead, Nubin.
My character's name is Nubin Hammerhalter, and he is a tiefling male. He is roughly 6 feet tall and has a build. A monk, so he wears his monk vestments, and that includes cape and the hood to conceal who he is. Because he's often being perhaps untrustworthy before people get to know him, kind of in the shadows. Was headed toward the Merchants Guild, the Maritime Guild. Was any work available? Moving back toward a water area, learn more about who he is.
Okay. All right. When you walk into the Mariners Guild, you see that there's a small, like as you walk in, it's sort of a main entry hall, a front desk, and then to the right, there's kind of a, it would be the equivalent of a Starbucks and a Target, like a small lunch cafe cart there, and a number of sea dogs are standing at their belly up to it, getting chowder, and perhaps a cup of tea. It's not a This is not a place where alcohol is served, but there is a lunch cart in here, and they're all in deep discussion as you enter into the guild hall. All right, Baracus, you are at the farmers market.
So Baracus is a tiefling as well. 5'9", 160, black eyes, brown skin, purple hair. He is a cleric who worships Osprey, and he consistently spends life on the sea. So he has been a hired hand on ships ever since he was 10, 15. He's 25 now. So 10, 15 years he's been to help navigate, to help keep them safe, keep them protected. And he's at the farmer's market because he just got off a long stint at sea and is sick of eating salted fish. So he is looking for fresh produce, particularly fruits that have vitamin C in them, and had a really good time watching and for eating mangoes.
Okay, so as you walk into the farmers market, and it's kind of a large sort of maybe maybe I mean it's no Fond du Lac, but it's like 200 yards of shop stalls, um, and you know they're sort of in districts here. So you have dry goods, you have an armory, you have tools and clothing, and then you have carpentry stuff, and then you have your foods, and you get to your fruits that are imported in because this is not a large fruit bearing area. And as you're walking over there, kind of following your nose towards the fresh produce, you see um, a, a clearly authority figure grabbing a young woman and escorting her um, off to and just sort of admonishing her. Well, we don't do that in Saltmarsh, at least not where everybody can see. And you are now in the farmers market area, and I am going to, now that we've all been introduced, or at least to the not to each other just yet, I'm going to move back into going back in order. So I believe we started with Cora being in jail. Okay. So you've been in jail for maybe 10 minutes. And Ariander walks back in and he says, he just looks at you, kind of leans on the bars and saying, I have this strange sense that you have no idea that you're not allowed to just take food.
Oh, I assume that this is where everybody comes to get their food, and I was just hungry. Huh,
Do you have any money? I didn't hear any of that.
money?
Okay. You do have money? Okay. Um, I suggest that perhaps moving forward, you use that. uh, yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. I would like for you to follow me back to the market, and we are going to pay back the poor Joas, whose fruit you scalped there. I know we put it back, but we're gonna pay him for that fruit, and then we'll call it okay. Does that sound fair to you, Cora?
It's wonderful. Bye, everyone. I'm gonna miss you all.
Yeah, it's best that you don't get to know them. So, uh, so he escorts you out, and he starts regaling you. He's. But where are you from?
I'm from a monastery up in the mountains. I am just got turned 20, and monastery, whenever you reach adulthood, you have to go on a pilgrimage to seek enlightenment. So I get to do my adult pilgrimage right now.
Where I'm from, that's called a Rumspringer. The the no, we don't do that. The they did they send you here, or did you choose to do this here? You're still walking. You're walking along briskly towards the market.
Told the wind brought me in.
The wind brought you here.
Yeah.
That's that's fair. The wind brings a lot of things here. So is this your first day in Saltmarsh?
It is.
Okay, okay. And
Hey, how much fruit you had. Wow.
well, it comes in on market days. It's fresh off of the boats, as a matter of fact. Are you looking for work, or are you looking for some kind of work at all? What kind of work would you be
Yep.
looking for?
Well, I mean, I suppose I could do really anything. I'm just looking to neander for a little bit. I'm trying to find my own balance.
I see. Well, I hope that Saltmarsh is able to provide you that. And he walks you there, and you small talk your way over there, and finally he takes you back to Joas, who's the mango and other large tropical fruit selling vendor. He also has pineapples, kumquats, cantaloupes, and but nothing smaller than a pomegranate. And so, because he doesn't want to cut into the market share of the small fruit person who just sells blueberries and cherries and things like that. So he takes you back there. I am going to move back over to Nubin. Uh, so Nubin, you walk in and it's as if nobody noticed. There's no record scratch moment. Nobody puts down their drink or stares at you. In fact, nobody even gets up to greet you. This is sort of, where sea dogs, they expect if you've been into a mariner hall, you know what to do. So you do notice these three uh, salty. They look like they may have passed their prime on the seaways, standing there, and they're kind of drooling a little bit of clam chowder as they're eating and sipping tea through quite a few missing teeth. Um, Other than that, you see a couple. You see a board, a jobs board to your left, and then a registry for getting a room not really a room, but a berth, as they call it, up on the second floor. Where if you're a hard up sailor, you can get a discounted, but you have to show your credentials. You got to prove that you're seaworthy. So that's what you see as you're in the main hall. What would you like to do with that?
Ben will walk around the room unnoticed. Job board to see what's posted.
Okay. So the first couple things you see on the board are long haul shipping, looking for basically just mates. They're just looking for inexperienced to go out to sea. Going to be going down the coast. The long haul ones are looking for people with a strong back and strong constitution. And then there's a couple of short runs down to the capital, which is called Seaton. It's a little bit to the east of Saltmarsh. It's not the capital, it's the regional seat of the kingdom's power. So Saltmarsh is a smaller town, Seaton is a slightly larger town, and that's where some of the government trade is managed. So they're looking for a couple people there. And then you see one little note tacked on the bottom that says, I would like someone to check out the old haunted house. Will pay 10 silver to find out what's going on in there. Signed, Phineas. And so that is the least paying thing on the board. You will make at least 10 gold for the long haul trips. After you're done for your 2 months out, you'll make 5 gold. 10 silver though for just going a couple miles, 4 miles east. Um, Maybe a good bet, but it looks like it's been up there for a while. The other ones look like they're new. There's some that are scratched out because the positions have been filled.
Because Newbin is new to the adventuring, uh, else telling him where to go and what to do, he's going to take the short run, and he's going to check out the haunted house.
Okay, you pull the sheet off the board. I just froze. You pulled the sheet off the board. Okay, and so you pull the sheet off the board, and it's almost now the needle skips, and one of the guys turns around and he elbows the other guy. You can hear they just stop talking. Maybe you notice and turn over your shoulder, and the one goes, "Somebody took Phineas's note." Hey, you're interested in that house? They're calling out to you. Yeah, Phineas has had that. Phineas has had that note up for, well now almost a year. No one's ever taken him up on it because no one wants to go down there. Because it's dumb and haunted, and nobody knows why Phineas wanted anybody to go down there anyway. But if you're looking for Phineas, you're gonna have to take the job down to him. He's down at the marketplace.
Will happily do that.
Okay.
Share of adventures and seen my fair share of tragedies. This seems something that will be easy to complete.
Okay then. All right then. Good on you. Good speed to you. And don't let the door hit you. Do you leave or are you hanging around at all?
Heading, you said, toward the marketplace,
Yeah,
correct?
the marketplace is from where you're at is actually just across the inlet. So, um, okay. Uh, that brings us to Merryweather.
All right,
Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, right. I have to give you information.
I'm just sitting here. I'm finishing my meal
Right.
and looking out the window. And
Okay.
I don't know, I'd love to go up that river, but I'm kind of afraid to go alone.
So as you're looking at the river, um, somebody comes running in the door and says, Ariander's going too far. He's cracking down too hard. He's coming down on everyone. One of them goes, well, what did he do now? What did he do now? And he says, uh, there's been a couple of our folk who've been taken on the wharf side. There's a riot starting out there. We're gonna break a couple coppers' heads, and so the bar starts clearing. People are grabbing truncheons, they're grabbing clubs, they start beating them like stick on stick, and they're gonna go, let's go start something, and they go wandering out the front door, leaving you pretty much alone in the bar with the barkeep.
All right. Well, I don't know if I want to get involved in anything quite so violent, um, but I might just follow at a distance to see what happens.
Okay. So waiting maybe 5 or 10 seconds till they all leave
Yeah.
and getting back on. Okay. So
And I mean, I leave a nice tip, for my meal and go on out.
all right. So they're not walking towards the market. They're walking towards the dock side, and as they walk towards that area, you can see sort of their enthusiasm's kind of waning. They're like, "We're gonna stop this." Did everybody see how cool I looked in the bar? Yeah, we're gonna do that. And some of them start to peel off the closer they get to the docks. Um, and you start getting maybe this feeling like there's a whole lot of talk, not a lot of show going on.
Sure. Does there look like anybody's in danger or needs protecting?
Not of this group, um, but
Mm.
there's still because a good a good 10 to 12 went running out the bar, and there's probably still 6 or 7 maybe, um, moving on towards the docks, and there's a couple of them that are still hot-headed and saying, we're not going to take this. If there's a riot, hey, let's see if we can grab something on our way out. And now they're talking about looting. Um, if they're hopeful. And so as you get closer to the docks, you can see that the situation is well in hand. Um,
Okay.
there are quite a few guards there, and a couple of people being manacled by the cops. And as you walk in, you see uh, a older gentleman with graying hair, kind of a noble bearing, walking in and saying, "What have we got here?" And hey, okay, Sheriff Ariander, we've already got it under control. We thought this might happen, so when we arrested the last of that one smuggling gang you were looking after, we thought there might be some unrest, and we doubled up our guard hiding in the alley. So when they got unruly, we were on top of them right away. Good thinking. Bring them to the barracks, and I'll talk to them later this evening. And so they're rounding up people, and he starts walking past you, um, and
Yeah, and
go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna get involved in that. I just like if I see that there's nobody in danger or needing protection and it's all handled, I think I might just, drift away from that mess.
Okay, which way would you? There's a number of people leaving the docks with crates. They seem to be heading. I gotta reorient that map in my head. They seem to be heading north, um,
Okay.
and so a little farther into town, and then a couple of other people who are moving on sort of dolly wheel carts. They're moving on to the docks proper with some goods to be loaded, and you see quite a few dock hands are using crane pulleys and pulling things onto ships, and can hear the whistles of bosuns, and first mates yelling out orders. You're right on the docks and looking out to the
Okay.
Azure Sea. Um,
Hmm. Yeah. Well, um, I've been in Saltmarsh for a few days now, and would I know that there's a place where people would go if they're looking? I'm not necessarily looking for a job, but I'm looking to kind of connect with a few other people.
it,
My goal is to get out of the city and adventure a bit, see what else is out there.
well, you know that there's a job board at the Mariners Hall, but you
Okay.
also know that right now most of the people who know anything or are doing anything productive or might be looking for some help or um, to work on anything to get win some favor in the town, they're going to be at the market um, right now.
Okay.
The other place you could go is the Drover, and that is the Ingo the Drover. He hires guards for caravans, but
Hmm.
he's clear on the other side of town. You'd have to go through the market first. Um,
I think the market sounds like a good place to head.
okay,
Just kind of wander over that way.
all right. Takes you a little bit to get there, and so you have a pleasant walk with the citizenry of Saltmarsh and a couple of surly ne'er do wells who have decided to slink away in face of overwhelming guard force. We're going to move over to Baracus, who was already at the market and beginning to look at fresh tropical fruits with Joas. So, Joas is showing you that he also has a nice selection of kumquats and is bemoaning the fact that due to packaging constraints, he can't bring in kiwis because they're too small um, for his writ. He only is allowed to bring fruits that are larger than a pomegranate. Um, so, but
Business to be in the large fruit market when you can't grow anything. heard that the farmers markets in most other regions a certain radius that the food is grown. Is that not the case in Salt Marsh?
Well, no, as a regional, import export area, we have to have somewhat more lax rules than you might find in a place like Seaton or farther northern into the kingdom. Sure, yeah, they have rules about that, and also, you're not allowed to buy other people's produce and pass it off as your own. You can get a lot of trouble for that. But I'm not passing it off as my own. I just am providing a service here because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get this lovely kumquat.
I'm not disagreeing. I was just asking. Now the mangoes,
Yeah,
these are imported from where? And I saw that
yeah,
young woman.
yeah, yeah. First time somebody's actually just like straight up grabbed a fruit from me and started eating it in front of me. I've never seen that before. That was really strange. Um, but
They take them and
yeah, normally I don't see them go. So there's usually a lot more subtlety to the theft. I don't know. All of the arts are not what they used to be. So, um, are you interested in purchasing a mango? They're low
I've been
price.
out from
Oh, you'd like to know where it's from? Sure.
import from.
Yeah, it's from south in the Azure Sea, just beyond the Isles of Dread. Um, Maybe 10 leagues past. I don't make it quite that far. I only get out past Abbey Island, and then there's a small, there's a small, sorry, I just yes, Mexico and Miami is where they come from. Uh, so they they're imported from south of there, and I actually, can tell you only that they're grown from from a group of, I don't know. I don't want to use disparaging language, but they're sort of more agrarian, I guess you would say. They don't get off the island much.
Sure. Well, I would like two mangoes. I've been on a boat for a couple of months now, so I'm getting sick of salted fish. So
Okay,
those, and then maybe direction to where I can coin. That would be great.
get some coin. Okay. Um, so he starts figuring out how much two mangoes is because he would prefer to charge in electrum pieces, but he realizes that that's difficult. So
Sure.
he's going to be doing some math, and as he says this sort of creepy old dude walks up and goes, "Are you looking? You're looking for some coin? I heard. Did I overhear that you're looking for some coin?"
Did overhear that I was looking for some coin. Is there a
I
job to be had?
am looking for adventurers. Are you an adventurer?
I don't know that I'd call myself an adventurer, but I'm a
He shoves his hand in your face like to shake it, except for it's a foot and a half over your hand. Sorry, he's missing an eye. And then he brings it down and
oh,
he
okay.
shakes your hand and he says, "Phineas, I'm Phineas. I'm looking I'm looking for adventurers. I need somebody to find my brother." Would you like to know where?
You said to find your what?
Brother, my brother.
Brother.
It's a male child born of the same parents. Okay.
I've heard of these. I don't have any of my own, but
No.
I've heard of brothers. Um, missing persons.
We don't have much of that here, and most of the people think he was kind of a kook, um, and he went looking for trouble out by the old alchemist's house, and he never came back. And that's been 3 years, and no one else will go in there to look for him. They say the house talks, and they just leave. I can't see, so I can't go. I'm no good. I got this bum leg, but I made a little bit of silver back in the day, and I can offer you 10 silver if you can at least find my brother.
Over to go to see if your brother's there.
Yes,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. It's the old alchemist's house. So Jois looks up now and he's like, carry the four. Why don't we use more electrum? And then he says, Phineas has been trying to get people to go to the old alchemist's house for years. No one in their right mind's going to go to that ramshackle old place. Everyone knows it's haunted all the way to the rafters. But these mangoes will cost you 3 silver and 1 copper. Wait a minute, sorry. 1 copper. Wait, 1 silver, 3 copper. Or 13 copper.
Was gold. Can you gold?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, Chris.
Gold. Can you make change for that?
For a gold? Oh. And then Phineas goes, I can change it. And he's got a little change belt. And he gives you 10 silver for your gold.
Pay up.
All right. He can change the silver to copper for you, too. So, all right. So 13 copper, or 1 silver and 3 copper. Later, you have 2 mangoes. All right. At that,
Start eating one, but I'm going to pocket the other one.
Okay, the other one goes away. As that occurs, Ariander walks. Nope, sorry. I have put Ariander in 2 places at the same time. I have a continuity error right now. I am going to say that Ariander, when you saw him, Merryweather, he had a young woman with him. And after, and he was sort of kind of escorting her. And after he got the report from his sergeant that he ended up walking in front of you back towards the market with this young woman. So, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so. So he's walking up, and as Baracus concludes his transaction, he drops Cora off and says, "All right, how much is it for the one? For the one? Now I forgot what fruit we were dealing with here. Mango. For the
Mango.
one for the one mango, and." I don't know how to do that. It's 13 for 2, but for 1, is that what is that? And so he starts doing math again. If only we used electrum. And then he just goes back to that. And as he's doing that math, in walks Nubin, coming in with a note that he's holding. And he is asking, can someone direct me to Phineas, I'm assuming? And Phineas, I'm Phineas! You've got my note. Someone took my note. It's been months. Are you an adventurer?
Fair share of adventuring.
Will you find my brother?
Try.
Will you go with this guy who I just met? What's your name? And he introduces you two.
Focus.
Oh,
All right.
shoot.
So you guys meet, and as that happens, in walks Merryweather behind, who had been following this. And Ariander kind of leans over to Jois, and he's like, I've got it. And he pays for your mango by plunking down 5 silver. Or no, 5 copper. And he goes, it's close enough to an electrum and stop bothering people. And then he turns. It's never going to happen. And then he turns away and he looks at Phineas and he goes, there is nothing in that house but problems. And you need to stop bothering Phineas. But if you're willing to go on a fool's errand for him, more power to you. Try to stay out of trouble. He leans over to Chorus. Stay out of trouble. I hope not to see you again, other than under pleasant circumstances. Good luck in town. And he just walks off. And then he looks up and he sees a furbolg. And he goes, oh, well, that's new. And then he walks off.
Hi.
So you all turn around, and there is, I'm assuming you're 7 feet tallish.
I am 6'11". I'm a little on the short side and not quite as strong as my siblings. So, yeah.
Are you 7 foot-ish? 6'11".
To be honest.
All right, as long as we're gonna be accurate. Okay, so Cora, what are you doing with what just occurred? And then what are you doing, Meriwether? Adam has chosen to type his instructions.
Oh, okay.
For purchasing my mango, thank him adamantly, and I would look on the two tieflings and the. I've never seen anybody that isn't elf or human. I'm gonna look up and I'm like, oh my god, you all are glorious.
At first.
And then standing, okay, so the way I'm picturing this is the two tieflings are standing here, and there's about a 4'11", very frail human man with a peg leg and a wooden eye, or not a wooden eye, a missing eye. Wooden eye would hurt. A missing eye, and he's sort of looking at it. He's like, "Y'all want to come too? This is my lucky day. Do you guys want to come too?
Come where?
Do you want to go find my brother in the creepy house, the old alchemist's house? Everybody thinks it's full of treasure, but nobody's ever found it."
What's your brother doing in a creepy house?
But he was looking for the treasure and he never came back.
How long has he been gone?
Over a year.
Oh.
I just want to know what happened to him. Maybe you can find his body. Or find out where he went. Find a note. Find something. Help me.
Aw.
Was
Well,
he your only sibling?
He was.
Oh, you must be out of balance. Oh, that is terrible. I'll go in the house. I'll take a look for you.
Is that balance comment about my peg leg?
I didn't even notice.
Okay.
Bigfooted.
Okay. He, sorry, couldn't resist. He says, "Yeah, well, we still have. It's only around noon right now. We still have enough time to get there if you'd like me to. I can't go in, but if you come out, I'll pay you each." And he looks at his change belt. "I'll pay you each 2 gold or 20 silver, however you want it. I've got it both ways." It is the same. It's exactly the same. But some people like to have lots of coins, and some people like to keep it tight. You know, they like to only have the 2. But some people, you know, they like the big rattle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So.
Partial to keeping it tight myself.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's why I have a change belt. I back. All right. Are we off then?
May as well.
All right.
sure.
All right. I am going to, out of game, let people know that we are in a couple time zones here, so we're going to only play for another half an hour, and then we're going to wrap this up, right? Because, Tony, it's 10 o'clock your time almost.
Oh, that's right.
Here.
It's what?
It will be 10 o'clock my
Right.
time, yes.
Yeah, and we were going to try to keep it to that kind of pumpkin time.
I could probably go till about 10:30.
Okay. Well, then if we
Pretty good with,
if
yeah.
we can push through till 10:30, then I think we'll do that, because then we can get into this first adventure. And I am going to say, let's take a quick 5-minute-er for anybody who needs a glass of water, a bathroom, or to check on their children, because I know that's going around too. So uh, we'll be right back in 5 minutes and begin with the first module in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, the sinister secret of Saltmarsh. Okay, we'll be back soon.
Robin, I think I hear you laughing, but it's kind of
I am. I'm sorry. I
It's
can't help it.
all
very
good.
sinister.
Oh.
Let's if as soon as Tony
Well, how
gets
have you two been?
back, we'll get it rolling.
I'm sorry. What was that?
How have you both been?
Yeah, I'm
Chris is there.
getting the end half of your words.
I was asking how have you been?
Oh, I've been
How are you?
good.
Yeah,
No, I've
good,
been good. How are you?
good. I'm doing very well. Thank
Yeah.
you for asking.
Yeah.
Good. I got a new job a month and a half ago.
Was a
Yeah,
library?
it's awesome.
Very cool.
Super cool. Sometimes I just hang out with books.
Hey, Chris,
That's awesome.
That's a
the
nice job.
chat would like to know what domain you are,
They would.
but you want to keep that on the down until you're ready to reveal.
And I am a cleric. So I do like lightningy, watery type stuff.
Cool.
My deity is Osprum, is a barracuda.
Buddha.
Song, nice.
Sweet.
A sperm whale, and I didn't want to send the chat into a tizzy on that one, so
Understand that.
a sperm whale to cast spells. I thought they might.
All right, we're all back. Let's get this party going. So, Phineas is leading you down the road, and this road to the house winds through the rocky coastal terrain, often offering a view of the sea below. Low clouds press upon you. Occasional patches of sunlight appear out over the water. A stiff wind blows in off the waves, carrying the briny stink of the churning water. This is not that pretty ocean smell of a great beach. This is that smell of this is fishing waters. And so you're kind of on a like, sea cliffs. So high winds coming up. You can hear the ocean. You could look down over the side and see it. But you got a good 20, 30-foot fall if you were to fall off the path. You'd have to run and really want to fall off the path, but you are not far off from a cliff face. It takes, it's 4 miles, and not running that, it takes you about an hour's um, brisk, decent walk to come to the house. And as soon as it comes in sight, Phineas sort of just, you know, I can go no further. But that's the old alchemist's house, and this falling apart, kind of battered by sea winds, hasn't been painted in an age, kind of peeling off wooden siding. It sits on the highest ground in the area. Around it, a stone wall has crumbled in many places, exposing the interior grounds. An ornate metal gate lies at the open end of the road, swaying slightly in the wind. Wild flora grows throughout the inner yard, but all the years cannot hide the evidence of a well-tended garden that once stood here. They probably were a feeder for the farmer market. Near the house, the rotted wooden roof of a water well rises out of the tall grass. Phineas goes, "Well, um, I'll meet you back in Saltmarsh. Hopefully, you'll be able to bring me some information about my brother. Um, guess I should tell you what he looks like. He's about my height, 5'2". He's lying. He's 4'11". 5'2". He's my younger brother. He had long blonde hair, and and he has blue eyes like I used to have, and um, just he has a tattoo of a merfolk on his arm, on his left arm at the in between the, that part where the bicep goes into the, this part right here, that part, that's where it is. Good luck to you.
Phineas,
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
you never told us your brother's name. It doesn't happen to be Ferb, does it?
I almost want to yell cannon, but no. My brother's name is Kev.
It's good to know. I mean,
And uh, our last name is Finlay. I don't know that it matters because there weren't a lot of Kevs. Um, but you know, in case you want to prove you know him, his name is Kev Finlay. I'm Phineas Finlay. You okay? Are we good then? All right then. I'll stop talking.
Well, and where should we meet you when we get back to Saltmarsh?
Oh, good, good. I'm a pensioner with the Mariners. So I stay at the Mariners Guild Hall. You can find me there.
All
Well,
right.
most of them make fun of me there, but you know, it's a roof.
Well, that's not very nice of them, but
No,
you seem to hold your own
no,
all
people
right.
are bastards. People are mean. He's just mean.
Okay,
He's
then.
just mean. And he just sort of shuffles off, and he's just walks on, doing a little shuffle cry back down the road. You guys are staring at the old house, the gray clouds behind it moving quickly. Uh, every once in a while, there's a break in the clouds over the ocean, giving you that sweet corpuscular. Um, I know the word because Dusty taught it to me, but that's the light that comes through from clouds, corpuscular ray. And that's going to be my
Okay.
big word for the game. Okay. Uh, so, the, yes, I believe that is how it's spelled. So, uh, that is, that's what you see as you gather around, staring at the house. You are at the front of it. As I said, there's a stone wall. It was 10 feet tall. It's crumbled in most places. You could almost crawl over it. And then you could also push right through the gate as well because it's kind of fallen off of its hinges.
Might as well get this over with, right?
Good.
I imagine somebody already tried just calling out and seeing if anyone answered, huh?
From what it sounded like, old Phineas told me that no one has ever taken him up on his
Hmm.
find his brother, and other than him hobbling up here just now, I don't know that he's ever. And he wouldn't be worth anything to try to help, but I suppose we could give a shout. He said their last name was Finn.
Finlay, Finlay.
I thought it was Finlay, but you were cutting out,
Yeah,
and I thought it couldn't be Kev.
That's exactly what I thought he said.
Kev,
It sure wasn't me.
Kev Finn. Oh, that would have been awesome. Have to consider that a lost opportunity. All right. No, it's
That's why I was verifying. Because then I was gonna feel bad if I didn't laugh. Because I didn't laugh, and I was like, oh.
oh man, I'm so bummed at myself for not thinking of that. Okay, no, it's just Kev Finlay, which is kind of like Kevin Lay, but oh well, we'll just leave it alone. Okay, all right, no, Kev Finlay. What do you guys want to do with that?
Whether you wanna see if he comes out.
Well, I kind of feel that might be a little bit too simplistic, but it's worth a shot, right? Um, but we would have to, I go up to the gate then, because I mean, you said there's a metal gate, but it's kind of broken, or
Yes.
is it okay?
Yeah, the ornate metal gate it's open, and it's not only is it
Okay.
not latched in the middle, but it's kind of come off its hinges, so you can just push your way right through the gate, if that's the way you want to go in. Because you could also, because the stone wall has crumbled in several places, you could just walk without any trouble stepping over the stones into the courtyard.
How far from the gate is the door of the house?
So the courtyard is about, gosh, it's there is no drawing, but it's would say it's maybe as far as 50 feet to
Okay.
80 feet back from the gate because there's a large garden. There's the well, um, and yeah, it's yeah, it's a sizable front yard.
Sounds that way. So it doesn't make sense to just like shout from here. We might want to get a little closer. And if they're saying this place is haunted, we might want to be a little cautious. So I don't mind going closer, but kind of don't want to go all by myself.
I don't have any problem with that. I don't believe in no ghosts, so
Well, I
Yeah,
don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but if there's something here, maybe it's a bunch of ruffians up to no good. I don't want to, spook them all on my own.
come
yeah, let's go.
Go
All
together
right.
then.
Okay.
host.
So, I mean, do we want to just go through the gate area and start walking towards through the garden?
Lead on.
Okay. Sure. I'll lead on.
Okay.
You're the biggest, right?
I am probably the tallest of y'all. Sure.
Nearly, y'all. Nearly 7 feet tall.
Nearly 7.
And a half.
But not seven-ish. That's too far.
No.
To be
You know,
vague.
I don't have aspirations of grandeur
I'm not putting on
or
airs.
any such delusions.
All right. So Meriwether walks in first, and so uh, as you walk in, like you could have seen this from the outside, but it becomes much clearer that it's an overgrown garden, and the water source for the house is clearly this well. It's a stone well where the wooden sort of peaked roof has collapsed inward, and the garden is just kind of choked with weeds. But you can see that at one point it was well designed and well tended. Uh, so the garden is as you enter in to your left, and to your right is the well, and then the front door to the house is in front of you, some 50 feet up. And you are on an incline too, so you would be climbing a little bit slightly up an incline going into the.
Okay.
Well, let's see if anybody's home.
I'm
I
sorry.
guess I.
What was that? Did Cora say something?
Cora said, let's see if anyone's home.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
gonna knock, or are we just gonna walk in?
I
And
think it's polite to knock.
not to knock.
Okay.
All right, so you go up to the front door and you knock, and the door, as you knock on it, just and just a plume of dust.
Oh my. Wrong.
Hmm.
Knocked.
So as it opens, you can see a musty, dirty entrance hall. Are you walking in the door? Okay, who's in lead? Is Cora in the
Yeah.
lead?
In a lead. I'm fine with that.
We're straight up theater of the mind here, folks, so I need to make sure I'm keeping you guys straight in my head. All right. The front door opens into that musty, dirty entry hall. To your left, a corridor leads into the west wing of the house. There you will find Martin Sheen. That's not true. Uh, the west
Oh,
wing of the house. Yeah, I know. It was a
I'm
west,
taking notes here. I'm like, what? Oh, never mind.
west wing joke. Yeah,
Got it.
it's not
Yep.
that. It wasn't that good. Okay. The walls are bare and bits of smashed furniture lie upon the floor. Ahead of you, another corridor leads towards the rear of the house. A staircase on the eastern wall climbs to the next story, reaching it at a balcony that overlooks the entrance hall along its north and west sides. The stairs appear safe to climb, though the balcony rail is broken in several places. Under the stairs at the north end of the hall, a third corridor leads east. So to put it right in front of you, you're in a big room, and as you're looking there, on your right is a staircase going up. In front of you is a 5 foot hallway. To your left, you can see a couple, maybe 15 feet in front of you is a hallway going west. And as you look around the staircase, you can see another hallway going to your right, so east. So you have west, north, east, or up.
Let's go west.
Well, you want to call out first and see if, Kev answers?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Kev.
Maybe a little louder.
Who's doing the Cora's calling out Kev? Okay.
Kev.
Nothing.
Kev.
Nothing.
Mm,
Game of hide and seek.
sounds that way.
Seek.
Is this Cora's voice we're hearing echoing back?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like
Or at least you believe it to be.
right. Okay. Is answering. So search the house. We should do it sort of methodically
All right.
first before we head upstairs, just to make sure we've covered everything. And it's just as easy as east. So
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. So you are all going to head west. Is that what you said?
Hmm.
Okay. So as you're walking, the floorboards sort of creaking. And it just sounds so loud in this house. Every step just thunders and creaks. It doesn't feel like you're moving subtly at all. As you walk down the hallway, again, cobwebs, dust motes. Uh, you see a door on your left and a door on your right, and the hallway ends in yet another door. The hallway is about 30 feet long. The first door on your left is 15 feet in, the door on your right is 20, and as I said, the hallway ends 30 feet later not later, 30 feet from the beginning with a door.
Get to so to the left.
yep, I agree.
Going to the left?
Yep.
Okay. The door opens again, it's just the hinges just. This room was once a library with bookshelves around the walls. Most of the shelves are broken, and in many places they have come away from the wall. The few shelves still intact are empty, but a pile of books rests in the southwest corner. What do you guys want to do with that information?
Can I look at the pile of books, see if there's like a theme or,
Sure.
you know, titles seem to relate to anything?
Sure. So are you going to move into that, start going through the pile? Picking them up, looking
I'm
at the
gonna walk.
spines, or?
I'll walk carefully because I'm afraid I'm a little heavier than the rest of these folk and I don't want to break through the floorboards. But yeah, I want to walk towards the pile and just kind of glance at the titles if I can read them.
Okay. So there's 14 books, sort of, just they've fallen off the shelves. So they're not like somebody has stacked them in a pile. They're not been thrown in a pile. They're just sort
Okay.
of heaped down as they fell out of the shelf that kind of tipped sideways. And so some of them are just covered in cobwebs. They're covered in vermin droppings, uh, mold. Um, Most are partially, or all of them are partially ruined, but there's somewhat legible. There's some histories. There's a book of romantic poems. Um, there is a couple of collections of the history of Ayus. And then there are three that sort of, for one reason or another, they stick out a little bit because they're, um, the lettering on the spines are so clear and not affected at all by the mold and the dust. And so the first one that you see is The Magical Properties of Gemstones by the Archmage Tensor. The second one is The Magical Properties of Herbs and Flowers by the Archmage Tensor. And the third one is The Metaphysics of Mathematics by the mage Nystol.
All right. And the first two were written by the same person. I didn't quite catch the name.
Yes, Tensor, Tenser.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just was kind of curious if maybe somebody had been going through these books trying to find some information. I don't know if Kev's a reader or not, but um, I'll mention to the group. I'll mention to the group that there are three books that do seem to be a little bit in better condition. Any of you interested in magic properties of gemstones or herbs and flowers, or I don't know what the metaphysics of mathematics is all about. That seems a little bit beyond me. How about y'all? Are you erudite?
I I think all of them sound interesting.
You much of a reader, Cora?
Chair too. I just want to look through them.
Okay, well, um, maybe you can take them with. You
Are
can
you
read them
flipping
at a
through them?
time.
Cora, do you take them and look through them? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So the two books by Tensor are actually in really surprisingly good condition. It's really well made paper, it seems to you, anyway. Um, the third one, actually, a piece of parchment falls out as you open it up, the one by Nystol. Um, and it is a mess of watery smudge. But it does appear that there was some writing on it. But the paper has fallen down and has landed at your feet.
Get up.
Okay. It is illegible, except in the middle of the page, there's two words that just appear to have not been caught by all the smudging, and it says Beyond Skeletons. And that's all it says on that.
Most of this is illegible except the middle. It says Beyond Skeletons.
This book also has extremely well made paper. It is not smudgy and ripped up or anything, but that parchment is.
Where the note fell from out of the book.
Okay. You guys are kind of looking at that page of the book. It's a part of mathematics that is dealing with the mathematics of life. If you want to know more, you can make a intelligence check. Go ahead and roll a 20 if you want to do that, and then tell me what you got there.
It's a straight.
I don't know who's doing it. Are you doing it, Tony?
I rolled a 9.
Okay. It looks
And
like
I did, so he can do it.
what did you rolled? What?
5.
5? Yeah. Neither one of you is feeling really confident that either mathematics or biomechanics are really sort of your thing. Uh, you guys are a little bit more into punching people. So that it's some math, and you pick up words like the luminescence and the spark within, and that's about it. Doesn't really seem to make much sense to you. So, what do you guys want to do now?
For cleric, do these books interest you?
Hey, I don't have much use for books. They tend not to fare well at the sea. They get soggy and wet and fall apart. So I don't have any. I could look at them, but I'm not gonna spend my effort carrying them around.
Well, there are those dwarves in town that are opening that copper mine and looking at gemstones, they might be interested in that gemstone one. I mean, might be worth bringing it back to town.
We could sell it to him.
Oh, or that, yeah.
And
I just I don't always think about selling stuff. I just
gotcha.
thought they might like it.
Two regular word. Never mind.
Okay, all right. I won't.
All right. What else do you want to do? There are two windows looking out into the backyard. Oh, sorry, into the front yard, and a small fireplace. Other than that, anything else you want to do in this room?
No, this is a library, right?
Yes,
And that's all we found.
thus far. Oh, the rest of the books, like I said, there's a couple of romantic poems. Uh, Ode to Saloon, uh, and just they look like kind of they've seen better days because of water damage, etc. They haven't resisted the advancing water and moisture and time that seems to have hit this house. So
Does the fireplace look like anyone's used it recently?
go ahead and make an investigation check
Oh, all right.
or
Oh, I
intelligence.
I rolled a 20. So,
Wow,
well, I don't have a bonus, but I rolled a 20.
nice.
Yeah.
It does not appear that it has been used in a very long time, and in fact, the bricks are starting to come loose from the mortar giving way, and seems to you that there are perhaps some animals who have nested in here recently. But other than that, it doesn't appear that anyone, maybe then some rats, has used this
Mm.
fireplace.
All right. I don't see any evidence of Kev being in here. Maybe we should try a different room.
Yep. Let's head down the hall then and take the room to the right.
Okay, you exit the doorway, and the next one is just slightly, it's 5 feet up a little bit to your left, and the door there is closed. Who is going to be opening it?
I can open it.
Okay. So Cora walks up, opens the door again. It's not locked, and it's swollen shut a little bit, so you have to kind of shoulder it open, but it makes that same eerie creaking noise, and light is coming in because the sun is going down behind, and you can see through the gross, dirty, dusty, cobwebbed windows light coming into this room. A door in the north wall leads onto a small patio. Yeah, sorry, the sun would be coming at an angle. A door on the north wall lands onto a small patio, the paving cracked and overrun with weeds. Other than a pile of refuse in the southeast corner, this room is bare. Oh, I'm reading the wrong room. Sorry. This room was once a writing room or study. Against the wall under the window sits a large wooden writing desk, partially broken and riddled with damp rot. There are 3 drawers on each side of the desk and a large central drawer. The latter is closed, but the others are all open, and 2 of them have been broken open forcibly.
Go and take a look.
Okay, what are you looking at? So you got the central door. You got at the desk. I'm putting my hands up high enough so you can see, I hope. You got 3 side on the pedestal. You have 3 drawers um, on each pedestal. So you have 6 open drawers, and then in this you have a center drawer here. So as you come up, all 6 of the side drawers open. In fact, 2 of them have been forced open, and then the center one is locked. So you can go through all of those, 6 drawers very quickly, and they're broken and empty. They've already had their contents removed. The center one does not open.
Everyone, these drawers don't have anything. I mean, this one seems to be locked.
Anyone have tools on them?
No, that's not one of my skills.
Try to tough it open.
Yeah, I wonder why they just didn't break the middle one open too. Whoever it was.
Or
Corset, should we look underneath the drawer, look legs would go in the desk and see if there's any way to open the drawer?
Go ahead.
Warhammer on me. That'll open a drawer.
You can make an investigation check if you would like, Newbin, if you want to look around, in and around.
Noob question then. I rolled a 12 and I add the investigation number too, so I have 15.
Okay, that is correct. So you are going underneath the drawer, and you have not been able to figure out a way to get it to open or anything like that. You don't see any locking mechanism, but you do note with that check that there appears to be a false bottom to the drawer.
Bottom intact, or has it been broken open?
Nope, it's there. It's the drawer seems slightly lower than it should be for the drawer. So, like for
Explain the same to the group.
I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
I'll explain the same thing to the group, that there is a false bottom, and as crowbar or anything that can open the door.
I can hit it with my hammer, but otherwise I don't have tools specifically.
it comes with it.
I'm sorry, Adam. Was that a question?
Actually, you know what? I do have a belaying pin on me. To wedge that in and use it to pry it open.
A belaying pin is a small club with a wide. It's part of a ship's wheel that's used as a weapon, or to beat the crap out of somebody who's not doing their job. So.
Right. Okay.
I don't think that would get in a crevice. It's more of a small club.
Wasn't sure how thick it was.
Okay.
Carver's tools, would there be something that we could use in there?
Wood carver tools? You can try. Tell me how you want to do it.
Pack, I'll take a chisel, and I'll also unbelt my light hammer.
All right.
So that I can the drawer.
Okay, go ahead and make a. I'm trying to think of what kind of check I want to call that. I'm going to call it a dexterity check, and I'm going to award you inspiration, so you can roll a d20 and a d6, add them together with your dexterity bonus. And proficiency, because you're using tools that you know how to use.
Well, I appreciate all that help, but adding it all together.
Doesn't sound good.
Uh-oh.
What was it all together?
The 5.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Okay.
I am not going to Vegas tonight.
Yeah, it's oak. So you're able to, as soon as you get the chisel in there, you're like, oh god, this is hard oak, and it's only aged into being a little harder, and your chisel sort of slides on it, and you're not able to find any purchase, so unfortunately you aren't able to pop it off with the chisel. you guys want to do?
Ideas, which I'm perfectly happy to listen to. I
Oh man,
diagnostics.
I'm gonna try with a chisel. Eat.
So yeah, hey, if there's a
I heard every second word. I'm sorry, I am having such a problem. I think it's because I'm running the streaming software, so it's really slowing down my Discord. Um, Corey's going to use the
If I
chisel.
tried with your chisel,
Help yourself.
Oh, okay, go ahead, and without any skill, so you get no proficiency bonus, and you're just going to hit it with just your brute strength, or pry it, or something.
or you just want me to straight number it?
Depends on how you want to go at it. If you're wanging away at it, it's a strength check. If it's a trying to
Try to finesse it.
do a dex check, and but you're not proficient with these tools, so it would just be a dex bonus plus whatever you roll in that d20.
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's not pretty, but you're able to, and in fact, you may have done a mild bit of damage to Nubin's chisel. Uh, but you shimmy it in there and pop that the false drawer falls in, and you're underneath it, so you're doing sort of a, and the drawer falls on your chest, and then tink tink, two glass vials hit you right in the face. Um, they don't break, but and you don't take any damage, but it certainly does not feel pleasant to have, glass bottles drop 3 feet onto your face or 2 feet onto your face. You hold them up, and they're filled with red liquid.
This is what was in the false bottom and a small headache.
I found a headache. Oh. All right. You've found 2 vials of red potion.
Anyone know what these potions are?
Would we be able to tell what they are by examining them?
Well, you can certainly try. You can do an Arcana check.
Examine.
Like, I don't know why I said it that way. I got really mad.
14.
You have a sneaking suspicion that they're alchemical, and that you are very certain that it is a potion and not a naturally occurring liquid. You have an inclination you may have seen something like them before for sale at higher end alchemical shops, and think it might be a healing potion, but there's a possibility you're wrong. You're not completely certain.
And considering his brother is like, I'm not the alchemist, was he? He is just supposedly.
He was a dude who
Right.
went chasing after the treasures of the alchemist.
Right, okay.
So, okay.
Potions, they might be. Not gonna know until we try them,
Fair enough.
Or you could
or until we have someone identify them.
Yep, you could do that too.
If you all want. I can just try one if you want.
Potion, that would be a waste. I mean, it'd probably make her headache go away.
To you all.
I think you should wait.
We should hold them.
Because it's a risk, and even if it is a healing potion, do you need a healing potion right now?
If it's poison, though, you don't want to take poison when you're probably almost dead.
No, but you probably don't want to take it when you're in a unknown place either. We
The
can
place
always
that you just
test it
don't
later.
know.
Yeah, we're
Hard
4 miles
say.
from town. I just say, hold on to them. That's my tip.
Okay.
All right. Anything
We're
else you want
moving.
to do in this room?
That was the false bottom of the desk. I
Yeah.
mean, is that drawer still, it's still locked though,
It's
right?
still
I mean, the
locked, and
drawer
you only
itself.
pulled a false bottom off of it. The original bottom is still on it.
Right.
So
Do with my hammer.
you're going to wang at it?
Ash.
Trying to like destroy it. I'm trying to hit it enough. I'm assuming the lock I'm picturing is here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of doing that move where I'm not just hauling off and swinging it. I'm actually trying to hit as is
Yeah. Okay.
bust that part of the drawer jimmied open.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack roll. I'm sorry, I did not hear the number. Dose? Okay.
No, 11.
11.
He
Okay.
said 11.
Okay, 11. All right. So, yeah, you hit it, and it does break open, makes a loud noise, pushes this oak desk into the wall. The wall shakes. There's plaster that falls down. Uh, Little rats scurrying from the side because as you hit it, the whole desk has started to fall apart a little bit, and it's lighter, and it just boom, and the front of the thing just bends, snaps in, and you're going to be able to pull the front off. Um, so,
That I pull the front off.
all right, you pull the front off, and inside are a number of papers and look to be um, receipts and even kind of a book, like a spreadsheet, what are those called? Ledgers.
Sure.
Um, and they are all, as you kind of flip through them, they are all for the purchase and sale of chemicals and elements that have come in and out, and somewhat fastidious bookkeeping.
Are there descriptions of any of the he'd been selling?
There are. So at one point he made a number of potions of healing that he sold for 60 gold each in the town. He also indicated that he sold a potion of invisibility at one point.
Descriptions of the potions. Are there any of them listed as red liquid?
Unfortunately, this is mostly a financial document, so he wasn't writing descriptions. So, anything else you guys want to do in this room?
No.
Okay. You can go back out, head back to the great room the entrance hall that you came into, or you can continue to the last door in the hallway. The last door?
Yep.
Okay. I have read this description. A door in the north wall leads onto as you enter into this room. This is the largest room you've been in. It's about 20 feet by 35 feet. That's not even remotely correct. It's 20 feet by, yeah, that's true. 35 feet. Uh, 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 Other than a pile of refuse in the southeast corner, this room is bare. There's a fireplace in the center of it. There are windows to your left, right in front of you, and then you can head out into the patio if you would like to. And then it's just a very large open room.
So the person who lived here, they knew how to make invisibility potions, huh? That's what we found out from that ledger. I wonder if there are things watching us that we just don't know about. Do we get like the sense of any eyes on us or hear any any movement of
Make,
any creatures or people or anything?
make a perception check.
All right. I don't think that's going to go very well. uh, 8.
8. You don't note any sense that you are being watched, and you don't have any sense that there are creatures sharing this room with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't Phineas told me his brother's been missing for, has been abandoned for longer than that. So I think if there were any, X would have worn off.
Right, but we just found 2 potions, so maybe somebody else found some. I don't
Fair.
know. Just a thought. I just like being
Well,
cautious. But it seems perfectly fine to me. There's absolutely nothing here that I can sense. So I'm sure it's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. What about this fireplace? Does it look like anyone's been using this one recently?
You can go ahead and make an investigation check.
All right. Oh yeah, that's even better. That's a 2. Hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe other people should take a look.
As you go to look into the fireplace, like, you bend over to look in it, and your big fur bulgy, uh, uh,
Ooh.
you're a little too big for it, and a cloud of ash and old dust and you just you can't make out anything. It's just,
There's a fireplace here.
yeah, you are aware of that.
Hmm.
In the bottom of the fireplace.
What do you want to do with the bottom?
Dust.
Uh,
Ash in the bottom of this fireplace.
you can go ahead and make anybody who wants to investigate the room can go ahead and do that if you would like, or any other skills you have, like perception or survival. Um, so just
I've
tell
got a 19 for investigating.
investigation. Okay, so as you start looking around behind Merryweather, as she kicks up the cloud and sort of sneezes and coughs in the cloud of it, um, it sort of draws your attention. As you say, bless you, and it draws your attention. You see footprints that were not made by you. That sort of, kind of, the the you didn't notice it before, but as the dust is all settling, you can see that there's a track of paths leading to just shy of getting to the patio doors, kind of in between the patio door and the window that the patio is going, and it just stops there, dead in the middle of the room.
It out to everyone.
Okay. Knowledged. What do you guys want to do with that?
all right, can you? Their tracks? Is that what you said?
Humanoid footprints have walked into this room, and as Cora notices this, you guys just haven't noticed it as you walked down the hallway. You weren't looking, but they seemed to come right the way you came in, and your tracks are sort of intermingled with them now, but they all lead further on and then stop at this point 5 feet shy of the wall going out to the patio and 5 feet from the other wall.
I mean, if we go up to where the tracks stop and try to just, is anything in that space?
Do you walk up to it?
I would, sure.
Okay, you walk up to the space where the tracks stop, and all of a sudden, just giant voice. Welcome, fools! Welcome to your death! I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Cora, what did you get?
10.
Okay, and Merryweather?
18.
Okay. And Newbin?
16.
And Baracus?
6.
Okay. So this booming voice just continues to laugh, and Merryweather and Newbin are able to sort of shake that off, but Baracus and Cora feel a sense of dread entering their bodies, and they feel a sense of fear they haven't felt yet in the house. And at this point, you guys will be at disadvantage on attack rolls for the next hour in game. And that is where we will end as you stand over a slowly opening trapdoor going down.
Oh.
And it's 10:30 for Tony and 9:30 for us, and I think this is a good place for us to leave it until we pick it up next time. And thanks everybody for watching us here on 20 Sides to Every Story. Hope you enjoyed our first episode, our pilot episode, if you will, of the Ghosts of Saltmarsh. As always, if you're interested in what we do here and playing Dungeons and Dragons, please give us a subscribe. The owner's in the chat, so you can talk to him about that if you would like to know more about what we do. But other than that, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I believe the next thing that's going to happen is at 7:35 in the morning, Alex begins streaming for 16 hours. He'll be doing Baldur's Gate 2, The Pools of Radiance. And if he doesn't start at 7:35, he gets to add 4 more hours. So, just keep your eyes open for that and make sure you hold him accountable for that. On top of that, I believe the next stream after that will be the conclusion to the Planescape Dead Gods campaign. Very exciting. Please tune in for that if you can make it. If not, I know it'll be available on YouTube soon after. And I guess that's about all I have to say. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great evening. And
Bye, everyone.
goodbye, everybody.
Bye.